Hello, cheesers, and welcome to off-season content. It is off-season content time. It always comes up eventually, but yeah, time for some off-season content. I'm going to go going through the bracket challenge that we're doing in this video. But quickly before that, I do want to say that the other videos are coming. The races that I need to catch up on, those races are coming very soon. Keep an eye on your sub box. I'm trying to catch up on those in the next week or over the course of the next week. So if you've been really looking forward to seeing those last few races that haven't been uploaded yet, again, just keep an eye on your sub box. They should be up shortly. So and some of them are already done. I literally just need to schedule them. So yeah, should be up soon. Again, keep an eye on your sub box. My goal is to be caught up over the course of the next week. Okay, so the bracket challenge. So this is inspired by Track Madness, except this time we're not determining the best track. For the previous year, we're determining the car that we're going to be racing for the next season. So a lot different, right? Even though it's the same bracket challenge, same style, obviously pretty different bracket with different implications. So in this video, what I'm going to be doing is going through all the matchups, and I'm going to be showing video of all the cars too. Because I don't expect everybody to be able to, go through literally all the cars. It does take some time and run a ton of laps with them. So I'm going to be showcasing video of all the cars so that you can at least get a look at them, see them a bit, hear them a bit, get the feel of them without maybe having to go through and literally run laps with all of them yourselves. So I'm going to be doing that. And also, this is a reminder that the voting period on the first round is going to be over soon. I'm not going to be doing a video. Well, maybe I will. I don't know. We'll see. For the other rounds, I don't think I will. So after this round, keep an eye on Discord. But you never know. Maybe I'll change my mind and follow it and keep people updated. So we'll see. But yeah, I thought it was really important to go through this for the first round. And yeah, OpEx really wanted to have it done as well, and I think it makes sense to have this done for the first round and have showcase all the cars so that it's all there and so that there's a reference point, right? There's a guide for this entire bracket challenge. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to explain at the beginning here, this is very important. This is why I have this section of the video and why I'm not going right into the videos of the cars. Is that it's not a predetermined schedule, right? So it's not oh, I already know what next season's schedule is going to be. We just need to fit in the car. It's not like that. So just an important thing to remember when you're voting in these matchups is that which car ends up getting selected will not only determine what car we're going to race, it'll influence what the series is going to be like as well, and what tracks that we'll race on. Because for example, using the oval example, some cars might race well at Daytona and Eagle Rock, right? Some cars might race well at Eagle Rock and not Daytona. Some cars might race well at Daytona and not Eagle Rock, right? It's going to be different depending on the power level of the car, depending on how well it turns. Some cars are going to be really well suited for some tracks. Some cars are not going to be really well suited for some tracks. For example, the Auto Union. If the Auto Union wins, it'll probably be mostly short tracks, right? If a car like that wins. Whereas if the IndyCar wins, it'll probably be a lot more of the bigger tracks that we haven't been to. We'll probably finally race the Daytona Oval. We'll probably race Spa. Maybe we'll do that crazy Fujimi track, right? So depending on what car gets selected, it'll have implications on the schedule. If the NASCAR wins, it'll probably be the most ovals that we'll see in the series. So just something to keep in mind. Again, it's basically you're not just voting for the car, you're kind of voting for the schedule a little bit too. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, so now that I did that, I'm going to quickly go through the matchups at the start here, and then we'll actually I'll pull up video and we'll look at laps of all the cars on one track. Our Maple Valley test track is kind of how I look at it. So the first matchup is the Random Car Every Week series, which, I mean, that one's kind of self-explanatory, right? What that would be. And then that goes up against the Formula Drift Malu. So that's our first round matchup. And I'll talk more about, I'm just going to like read the matchups right now. I'll talk more about the cars when I actually like have video on screen. I'm just going to literally read the matchups right now. The next matchup is the 89 Audi number 4 Quattro against the 2020 Oreca 38, number 38. It's like an LMP2 car. And yeah, basically 2 IMSA cars going up against each other, but one of them very old, one of them very modern. So that one's a pretty fun round. The next one, the NASCAR Next Gen car against the 75 BMW number 25. That's kind of a cracked matchup, but it's actually better than I thought it was initially. That BMW is pretty cracked. I really like the NASCAR as well. So I think that matchup's pretty fun. And then the final one on this side is the 2014 Ford FPV against the Builders Cup Series. So the 2014 Ford is just like one of the few trucks in the game, and we have 2 trucks on the side. The Maloo is a truck as well, but it's obviously a pretty cracked truck. That one has a lot of speed, whereas the 2014 Ford is a more like balanced, more tame truck, I would say, not nearly as fast. And the Builders Cup, I'll explain it more later, because I did kind of like a video example of like what that would be. Okay, so going down to the next one, we have the 2015 Radical RXC Turbo against the 2017 Porsche number 92 RSR. And yeah, I think this is a pretty good matchup as well. The Radical car, that was supposed to be like an LMP3 car, but unfortunately it was DLC. I was not aware of that at the time, so I had to replace it. I thought that was a pretty good replacement. And then the Porsche is a car that we were considering for last season. Drives really well, should be fun. I really like this next matchup. The Auto Union against the 26 Bugatti. I love this matchup. This matchup is hilarious. And I can't wait to show the video of this matchup because it is a great matchup. I think it's the best matchup in round 1, I gotta say. It's absolutely hilarious. And then we have the Toyota number 25 Scarlet against the 2025 IndyCar. This is a pretty cracked matchup because the Scarlet's really cool, but so is the IndyCar. The IndyCar is also a huge step up, though. But yeah, I think this matchup is actually like really cracked. And then finally, we have the 2013 KTM Expo against the 2023 Caddy, which should be like GTP, like prototype car. Should be really fun. That's another matchup that's kind of crazy because it's one that's kind of hard to do, like matching up that Caddy and matching up that KTM. Like it was kind of hard to have a matchup there. But I actually think it is a pretty decent matchup. I think this is kind of like the Caddy's like a big step up. And I think that the Expo is like very similar to the Elantra. So if you liked the Elantra, but you wanted something that was like rear wheel drive and maybe a little more power, it feels a little bit faster to me. I'm not sure if it actually is, but it feels a bit faster. But yeah, if you like the Elantra and you want something like similar to it, but maybe like a slight step up, nothing too crazy, I think the Expo is a good example for that. And then again, on the other side of it, you have the Caddy, which is a massive step up. Okay, so there you have the matchups. Now let's get into the videos of the cars and start going through them one by one. All right, so now we're moving over to the gameplay portion of the video. We're going to be going through and showcasing all these cars for every matchup. So you'll get to see and hear the cars and hopefully through the video get a feel for them. Like, for example, this drift truck here. I think you'll get a good feel for this without having to run it yourself. I mean, you won't be able to get the entire experience and how like crazy out of control this drift truck really is, but you'll be able to see it a little bit and get the idea through the video, I'm sure. So again, this first round matchup is this drift truck that I'm showing right now against the random car every week series, which again, I don't think I have to, like, I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory. It'd literally be a random car and switching it up like every week. I mean, maybe like at the beginning of the week, right? So you have some time to know what car it is and like get used to it a little bit and know what's coming, or who knows, maybe just do it the night of. Fuck it, I don't know. I don't know. It kind of depends, right? It's one of those things to probably figure out. If that one wins, figure it out like when it wins, right? And determine how we would want to do that. But again, this is going against the drift truck, which I can't really show video for the random car every week because it's a random car every week. If I was to show video for that, it'd literally just be me scrolling through the car menu. You can do that yourself. So I can't really. Not really showing video for that side, but I can show video for the drift truck. And all I could really say for the drift truck is if we did this series, it would be about it would be about getting comfortable being uncomfortable would be like the name of the game with racing the drift truck, because this thing is crazy. You can tell in the video. I think it's super out of control, very hard to get a handle for the drift truck, but that's what makes it fun, and we had a lot of fun testing the drift truck, so I think it would be a fun series. Okay, so next round matchup, first car that we're showing, it's the Audi Quattro against the 2020 Oreca. And again, I'm showing the Audi here first. So this is the next matchup. And this Audi is very fun. This is part of I think the division in game. And you can see some of the other cars in the free play here. The AI has a lot of the other cars in this division. I think it's the GTX, like sports cars or something like that. So this is a lot of like really, really old sports cars. I think the year on this Quattro is 1989. So yeah, a lot of super old sports cars. Very, very cool cars, I gotta say. It's one of my favorite series to race in-game when it shows up. It doesn't show up very often, unfortunately, but when it does, I like to race it because I just think the cars are cool. I mean, just look at them on track. I think these cars are just really sweet. And the Quattro is very fun, really good at the road courses, handles super well. And for it being like an older sports car, the rating... the pretty high rating that it has is deserved. Like, this thing handles super well, brakes super well. It's pretty fast. So yeah, it's a legit race car too. I think this car is really cool, and would definitely be a good choice. And like I said, I've raced it a lot online in the featured multiplayer, and it's always a good time. And it's just like really well balanced. Just really well balanced. Like, don't really have anything negative to say about it. Just like really good all around car. And next, it's going up against this car, which we have the IMSA matchup. We have the really old sports car against the really new sports car. So this one is again, a very new, like legit race car, and it is cracked. It's very fast, turns very well, brakes super well. That would be the main noticeable thing for me, I think, is the brakes on this car are just like, it feels like it stops immediately when you want it to. Brakes are fantastic. Yeah, these cars are if you want like a modern race car that is cracked. Again, it's very fast, brakes super well, handles super well. Don't really have anything like, you're not going to be fighting the car much with this car, right? Like, you're not going to be fighting the car much. For the most part, it's very easy to get this car to do what you want it to do. That's how I would describe it. Yeah, sounds cool, looks cool, legit race car. And it's a great matchup against the Quattro because, again, it's like the old versus new, right? Like, you have the super old sports car against the super new sports car. Kind of like different divisions, though, but still works out and is a pretty cool matchup. So, yeah, I think this is a really good one. Really tough one for me, honestly. I think it's a really... it's almost like too good of a matchup. Tough to decide on these for me. We move on to the next one. And we're starting off here with the NASCAR next-gen car. And, yeah, obviously this is one that we considered for our first series. We considered it for the last one, too. So this one's been in consideration for all the series, or for all the seasons that we've done so far. And it's definitely a car that we want to get around to at some point as well. And, yeah, what I would compare this one to, it's coming up later in the bracket, but I think this is like, when we get around to the Porsche, I think a good way of looking at the NASCAR next-gen car is it's like a souped-up Porsche with like way more power. That's a really good way of looking at it. So when we get to the Porsche later, I think you'll probably see that. And Roman was even saying that when we did our like test night, like post grand finals. I want to say we're doing a lot of testing. He was even saying that, and yeah, it's true. It's true. It handles very similar to the Porsche, but just has a ton more power. That being said, though, I don't think it's that hard to get used to. It is a little bit of a jump at first, and it is a pretty big jump from the Elantras. But I don't think it's like that crazy with how much more power it has. And honestly, I think the power difference is mostly noticeable on the ovals more so than the road courses. It's definitely noticeable on both, but yeah, in my opinion, it's more so when you're at Daytona, just wide open, ripping like 200 plus, where you notice the power difference. On the road courses, I don't notice it as much. And the wheel spin is not that crazy either for how much more power it has. Like on this track, for example, even the only corner where I get like pretty big wheel spin is the hairpin. But I feel like that's kind of expected. So the car that the NASCAR Next Gen car is going up against is this 1975 BMW. And seems like kind of a weird matchup, but I think it's actually a pretty good one. This BMW is like kind of an underrated car in the list, I would say. It's really fun. It's really fun. It's almost like an old, cracked like drifting car, like rally car. Yeah, I think rally car is probably a better way to put it. Is kind of the way that I would look at this one. Almost fits in the, well, yeah, I'd say it basically fits in the same like division as like the Quattro that we went through. It's like pretty close. It's a little bit older, but it's close enough. I'd say it about fits in like that same division. It's, you know, adjacent enough, I would say. But yeah, another like legit race car. We got the window net. You can see it. Another legit race car. And handles surprisingly well and is surprisingly fast for how old it is and like what the rating is. Car is pretty cracked. So and it's got that cool like BMW look to it. So yeah, it's a tough matchup for me because I love the NASCAR next gen car, and it's one that I definitely want to see. But like I said, I think this one is like an underrated pick in the first round, and I think that's actually a pretty good matchup because this car is really fun. I don't know if the video like fully does it justice. I think this car is really fun to drive around, and would definitely make for a good series. And honestly, it might be one of the most logical. Wow, I really screwed it right there. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I was like, whatever. I was over it. At this point, you got enough of a showcase. So I started doing some burnouts. But yeah, I think that car is actually pretty fun. And what the other thing that I was going to say, like the last thing I was going to say, is that I think like balance-wise, I think it's probably the most logical step up. Either that car or the Porsche. I think those two cars are probably the most logical step forward from the Elantra. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for like the most logical like next climb up the ladder right from the Elantra, like if you liked the Elantra and you want to like move up the ladder like one spot, you don't want to go too crazy high, you know, you don't want to go for too fast of a car, you want that next step up the ladder. Again, I think that BMW or the Porsche that we're getting to very shortly, I think those two cars are the most logical step up from the Elantra. So if that's what you're looking for, I think those might be the choices for you. So just something to keep in mind. Now we're looking at the Ford, the 2014 Ford FPV that's going up against the Builders Cup series. So yeah, this one is, I wanted to include another truck. There's not that many trucks in this game. And this is a truck that's more like tame, more of like a street truck. Obviously, the Formula Drift truck is crazy. The Formula Drift truck, I think, can get up to like 200 plus on Daytona, on the Daytona Oval. I'm not exaggerating. Like, I think it legit gets up to like 210, 220 maybe even. That thing can rip. It doesn't showcase it as much on the road courses because you're just taking turns and you're just drifting and you're wheel spinning. So on the road courses, I feel like it doesn't showcase the true speed that it has as much. But on Daytona, that thing is fast. It is sketchy. This truck is if you want to race a truck, but you want a more stable, more tame, like street truck, as opposed to the Formula Drift truck. So that's the, that's the comparison there. Okay, so now I'm trying to showcase the Builders Cup Series, which is this matchup. It's that 2014 Ford against the Builders Cup Series. So the Builders Cup Series, I'm just trying to showcase here. What it would probably be is we'd probably choose like a starting range. It'd probably be like E or D class, I would say. In the performance index, I'm assuming we'd probably start with E or D. I think I chose a D class car here because I was just trying to showcase it. I didn't really care what it was. I was just trying to, give you the idea. But again, it'd probably be E or D class. And there's some fun that we could have with the Builders Cup Series. I think it could be really interesting because we could have a lot of fun with it. Like, for example, we could potentially do a thing where we put like drivers in different divisions, like based off where they finished in the previous season. And maybe we could have like some balancing fun with that. Kind of like balance of power, like they do in real life, like IMSA races, where they kind of like try to like balance the cars out and adjust the cars, like race in and race out with different like power levels. Like we could do that. And not just like we could do it based off the previous season, but then once the season gets going and once we get an idea of what the power levels are of the cars that we have selected, we could kind of have some fun with it there too, and have some adjustments with that balance of power to try to get everybody on like a close playing field and have some fun with it that way. So there's a lot of fun that we could have with the Builders Cup. because of that, right? Like the fact that we're able to like adjust the cars with upgrades kind of gives us our own like balancing tool to have like really close racing, which is, you know, obviously would take some time to figure out. And some races, some cars might be overtuned. Some races, some cars might be undertuned. And then, you know, some races, maybe we just hit it just right. But that's kind of the fun of it, right? Like, I think that this is a series that would inherently be unbalanced, right? Like, for most of it. But I think that's part of the fun of it, right? Like, I think this is a series that wouldn't be taken as seriously and would be more about the fun of, like, building up these cars week in and week out and slowly adding to your car and, you know, adding different upgrades to it and having more speed each week and having that progression. And maybe, like, some of those, you know, some of those adjustments are, like, cosmetic too, right? Like, some of the changes that you make are cosmetic. Some of them are not always just like an engine upgrade, right? Like some of them are like maybe a wing on the car that you can see, or maybe you can take the wing off, something like that. So there's a lot of fun to be had, I think, with the Builders Cup. This is definitely, I don't know how it'll do in the bracket. I'm curious. We'll see how far it'll go. I have no clue. But it's definitely something that I want to do in the future before we're done with Forza, because I just like the idea. I just think there's a lot of fun. I just think there's a lot of fun to be had with the Builders Cup idea. And again, like it being a less serious, you know, more for fun series. Like I think everybody would probably have to embrace the fact that it would be a little like inherently unbalanced. But I think that could be fun in a way. And like I said, like how we could do like full on like balance of power. Like we could like try to balance it ourselves and try to get it as close as possible for everybody. And I think there's a lot of fun to be had there. And I think it has a lot of potential. It'd be really cool to see everybody in like different cars and build them up and see it, you know, progress as the series goes. Like I think it'd be really, really neat. So yeah, definitely something that I want to do down the line if it doesn't win the bracket. And oh my God, yep, Slaunch's AI is in an Elantra. You can't make it up. Can't script it. Actually can't script it. That's hilarious. All right, moving on to the next round. So we have the first up here. This is going to be the Radical RXC against the Porsche, the 2017 GT2 Porsche. So first up here, we're looking at the Radical, and again, this is a car that was supposed to be an LMP3 car, but unfortunately that car was DLC. I was not aware of that at the time. When I was made aware of that, I was like, oh shit. Well, okay. I'll try to, you know, I'm gonna try to. I don't want to do anything like too different because I was already kind of like locked on that car. So I tried to find a car that was like pretty close to that car. Like I tried to find a good replacement. I think I did a good job. I think this Radical car is a pretty good replacement for that car. I think it looks pretty similar. I think it runs pretty similar. I think it did a pretty good job replacing it. But yeah, like this is a big step up from the Elantra. Has a lot more speed. But these cars handle and brake very, very, very well. So basically, the car that I showed earlier, that 2020 Oreca car. So that car, think about that car, but just like a step down from that car. That's kind of how I would look at this car. It's very similar to that car, just a little bit slower, corners a little bit worse, brakes are a little bit worse. Like it's very similar, but just like a slight step down. That's kind of how I would look at this car. So yeah, and it's the best comparison that I can do for it. I needed a drink. Okay, so onto the Porsche. And obviously the Porsche was a car that we were considering for last season. And we're actually considering it for the first season that we ran as well. I really like this car. And I think this car would be a good option. Like I said, I think this car and that BMW that we talked about, I think that those two cars are the most logical step up from the Elantra. So again, if that's what you're looking for, if you like the progression of the cars that we've been doing, like the progression that we've been doing, if you like that and you've been enjoying that and you want to continue that progression, then I think that, again, this car or that BMW from earlier are probably the most logical next step up. But yeah, the Porsche GT car, racing car, sounds awesome, and it looks awesome, and it's just very well balanced. It's just very well balanced. It has good speed, but it's not crazy fast. You're not hitting 200 on the straightaways of the Daytona Oval with this. Maybe like 170, 180, I think. So yeah, really good speed, but not crazy speed. Handles super well, brakes super well. You get a little bit of wheel spin, not too crazy with it, but get a little bit of wheel spin. Yeah, just like really well balanced car. And like I said, this car and that BMW make a lot of sense for the next step up, in my opinion. So yeah, just a solid race car, solid option. Not too much else to say about the Porsche, but just really good car. Next matchup. First, we're going to be going over the Auto Union, but the next matchup I think is one of the most hilarious matchups in the entire bracket. I love this matchup. This will probably be my favorite matchup for the entire bracket challenge. I'm not going to lie. I think it's absolutely hilarious. So first up, we're looking at the Auto Union, and the Auto Union is going up against the 26 Bugatti. So yeah, this matchup is the super old car matchup, super old open wheel car matchup, and it is absolutely hilarious. And this Auto Union, we tested a lot throughout last season. This is one of the cars that we frequently tested after racing, and we had a lot of fun with it, and for good reason. The biggest thing that this car has going for it, I think, is that this might sound kind of weird, but like going from Halo and like thinking about the Mongooses more so than the Warthogs, but thinking about like racing the Mongooses from Halo and thinking about like transitioning that to Forza, I think that this car makes the most sense. Like visually, just like looking at it, it just looks like, I don't know, it just looks like the closest thing that we can get to like the Mongoose. Like transitioning from that to this game, it's like the closest that we can get. I did that big contact right there. Another benefit of this car is some of the open wheel cars, the collisions are kind of like messed up, but you can see right there the collision physics seem pretty like accurate. It doesn't seem like the hitbox is like too messed up. So yeah, like the collisions, like, how do I put, like they make sense. The collisions make sense with this car compared to like some of the other open wheel cars that we tested. So yeah, that's the Auto Union, and the Auto Union is going up against this car, the 26 Bugatti. Again, this matchup is absolutely hilarious. This is one of the lowest rated cars in the game. It would be kind of a meme if we raced it, but that's kind of the point, right? And again, like I think it's the same thing, like just the visual of this car going from Halo Mongoose to this, it like kind of makes sense. The visual is like hilarious. And yeah, it would probably be like mostly short tracks and stuff like that because these things cannot go very fast. You see, I'm hitting like 76 on the corner exit. I'm gonna pay attention to it at the end of this lap, see what we see what the max speed that we get to is at the end of the straightaway. It's not very high though, I'll tell you that right now. It's not very high. But yeah, if this car won, it would be more of like a meme series and meme car. But not to say that it wouldn't be fun, because I do think it would be fun. These cars are hilarious, and we would probably have a good time racing them because they are such a meme. It's like a literal tractor, but that's kind of what makes it fun. So yeah, let's pay attention to it here. Let's see what speed we get up to at the end of the straightaway. Obviously, it's not, a great top speed example because Maple Valley Short is very small. But yeah, we're not even hitting 100. We're hitting like 92. 92 is the max that we're getting at the end of the straightaway here. And that's got to be the lowest of all the cars that I showcase in this video by a lot, I would think. I'm not going to go back and actually check it, but I just know it has to be the lowest, and by a good margin. So yeah, I mean, you get the idea, right? Like, you get the idea with the Bugatti. I need another drink. But you get the idea with this one. This matchup's absolutely hilarious. Good luck choosing between them.
One more. Finish strong.
Oh yeah, had to ram Clan real quick before we moved on to the next clip. I saw his AI, I had to go for it. Okay, so on to the next matchup. We only have 2 more matchups remaining. This first one is the car that we're on board with right now, the Toyota 25, number 25 Scarlet against the 2025 IndyCar. Crazy matchup. We've had a lot of fun with the Scarlet in testing. We can do some really cool like World of Outlaws stuff with it, and I think it could be fun on the road courses as well. Very interesting thing to note about this car is that it is planted. This car handles contact really well for some reason. it's almost like hard to wreck people. Like you could try to like intentionally wreck people with this car, and it's like hard to do. It almost feels impossible. Just handles contact really well. It's probably like damn near impossible to flip as well. The car just feels absolutely planted to the ground. But yeah, Scarlet, really crazy looking, really fun to race. The only downside of this car is that the customization is a little messed up. If I recall correctly, I think Roman was talking about that. That the customization on like the side of the car is a little messed up, I believe. That's the only like real downside I can think of. That is pretty unfortunate because obviously we like making our custom schemes and having fun with that. So yeah, it is definitely a bit unfortunate that the customization is lacking a little bit. Or it like gets messed up on the side of the car or something. So that's unfortunate. But on the bright side, it is a very, very, very fun car to race. Had a lot of fun with it in testing. And yeah, it would definitely make for a good series. And this is the car that it's going up against, the 2025 IndyCar. I'll tell you right now, this car would absolutely, without a doubt, be the biggest step up if this car were to win the brackets. So keep that in mind when you're doing your voting, that this car would absolutely, without a doubt, be the biggest step up for us in the bracket challenge. It has a lot of power. It has a lot of braking power too. Like it can brake really well, it can turn really well. So it is able to do those things, but it has a lot of power. Like wheel spin, getting the wheels to spin off the corner with this thing is not a challenge at all. It's very easy to do, and you'll be doing it frequently if we're racing this car. So again, biggest step up, easily I would say. Very, very fast, ton of power, ton of braking potential, and can turn really well too, but a ton of power. This thing can go, it can get up to like 260 on the Daytona Oval. I think that's with tuning though, but it can get up to like 260 on the Daytona Oval. That is insane. That is insane. So that's just giving you an idea of the speed that we're working with in the IndyCar. Crazy, crazy, crazy fast. Really cool that it's in the game though. And now we're on the final matchup. Final matchup that we have to go through. First car that I'm showcasing in this matchup is the 2013 KTM Expo. I know I mentioned those other two cars earlier, and about the logical step up from the Elantra. I would say that this one is the logical, similar to the Elantra. Like it's not the Elantra, but how would I put it? This is like if you liked the Elantra, but you want like a rear wheel drive Elantra. That is kind of how I would put this car. Obviously it looks very different, but like power level wise and the way that it drives, I would say that that's a very good way of explaining it. Yeah, it's very similar to that Elantra that we were racing, but if you wanted like a rear wheel drive, like more traditional feeling car that's like at a similar power level, that's this car. That's this car. So again, if you liked the Elantra series, and if you want something similar to that, but that races a little more traditionally, I think this is your car. And that's kind of my description for this one in this round. That being said, it is kind of a cracked matchup once we get to the other car, because the other car in this matchup is pretty crazy. But yeah, I have a lot of fun racing this Expo. It's very, very fun to drive, and would probably make for really good racing. I think it'd have really similar, close contact racing that we had with the Elantra. I think this would race very, very similarly. All right, so now we're on to the 2023 Cadillac number 1. This is the current prototype cars that they race in IMSA. This car is crazy. I would compare this car, if we go back to earlier in the video, that 2020 Oreca car. I would compare this car to that. But what I would say about it is that they're very, very similar cars. The other car turns better, or turns better, turns similarly well. This car has more power. So that's how I would look at them. I think they're very, very, very similar cars. This one just has more power, struggles a little bit more with the turning because it has all that power. That other car has a little bit less power, but it turns extremely, extremely well. So that's kind of how I would describe these cars. Very, very similar. This one just more power, less turning. The other one more turning, less power. That's kind of how I would put it. This is the cover car. Well, I think there's multiple cover cars, but this is the cover car in the game, I believe. And yeah, very fun race car, legit race car. Would be super fun to drive. All right, so there you have it. Just a quick outro here. I just went through all the cars in the series in the bracket. So looking at the matchups again, but there you go. You have your reference guide for all of these cars, and hopefully that can help you go through the bracket, which you should try to do very shortly because the first round ends the day after that this video goes up. So if you're watching this video the day that it goes up, then you know that you still have a little bit of time remaining to make your choices, but time's running out. I know that some of our regulars have not voted yet, so try to get on that. Again, if you're not a series regular, I'm not as concerned about it. But for the people that show up like every week, definitely try to vote along in the bracket challenge if you can. But yeah, if you're struggling with making some of the decisions, hopefully this video helped out with that. So yeah, more videos to come, catching up on the races and other stuff as well. More off-season content to come. And again, like I said, maybe I'll do a video for each round. Maybe I won't. I think I might actually might. But it'll probably be just like a short recap and, previewing everything. We'll see. We'll follow it as it goes. And also, I kind of want to do it just because it's going to be fun. This bracket challenge is really fun. The track map, or not the track map, but the track madness bracket challenges, those were always fun. But I think this one is also really fun in a different way. Because again, of it determining like the series and being something going towards the future instead of like looking at the past and being like, okay, we raced all these tracks. Now let's vote on go through the different ordering and pick a winner. This obviously determining the future is like the opposite in that sense, and makes things a little bit different. So yeah, I think it's pretty fun. I think it's a pretty fun idea. Should be fun to follow. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you in the next one.